Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today is Vicky Cook. Vicky is the candidate for Board of Supervisors, Warren County, in the Fork District. Vicky is the Republican candidate, so she'll have a big R there next to her name. So, Vicky, this is your first venture into local politics, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes, for politics in general.
Well,
This is my first run.
don't let anybody kid you. Vicky's been around the block here. She knows how the politics work. She's worked on several campaigns here. Most recent, you were working on the Chuck Smith for Attorney General campaign.
That's correct. That was last year, yes.
It seems like yesterday, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We worked real hard.
So she's experienced in that. She knows how the game is played, and but I think she's an independent thinker. So tell us, Vicky, what caused you to get in, wanting to do this?
Well, the major reason why is that we all need to start getting involved in local politics. You know, with what happened in November and seeing with the election and whatnot, and sitting there listening to consultants and people saying that, you know, we have to start getting involved at the local level. And it's so true. It is so true. Several months talking to people and listening to their voices, it's true. It starts at our local level. And on top of that, I also want to get involved with the community. I've been here for 7 years, full-time for 7 years, and this is my home. I've met a lot of really great people, also a lot of community organizers, elected officials, and we got a good community here, and I want to be part of it.
Well, you're going to, when you're on the Board of Supervisors, it's going to be heavily leaning to the feminine side here, it seems like. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that's going to be good news for the community. Working with Dolores and Cheryl, they're both strong women, very outspoken, believe in oversight and asking the hard questions, and I think I'm going to be a good complement to that team.
Well, that's one thing people do say. We'll agree that the board has changed its flavor in the previous election, and that coming up this time will pretty much give us 100% new board after this election. And because we have 2 seats open, we have Happy Creek,
That's correct,
and we have the Fork District. So that will give us, and neither one of those candidates are current members are running. So again, we'll have a whole new Board of Supervisors with this election.
That's correct.
And it'll change the flavor. There's been a lot of butting heads with our town government. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think that we need to unite. I truly, as I have told people, that we need to get together, and because it's the people who suffer through this animosity. Well, it seems to be like animosity
Sure.
at those levels, and we need to mend the bridges. And I hope that I can bring that to the Board of Supervisors, so we can start working for the people and not for other agendas, if you will.
Sure. Yeah. Special interest groups is
Special
what they call it. I try to express all the time is that people that are living in town also live in the county.
That's right.
And I think sometimes the county and the town forget that we're all should be one big happy family, so to speak. And the town council's role is to take care of the town. Only things that the town has, and then the county takes care of the town and the county. I mean, in a sense, because they cover the whole thing. What do you think of that?
Well, it's true. What I've learned, because as I said before, I've been out talking to people and county department heads and listening to their side, and it's true. It's kind of right, and I'm new to this, right? So I'm, as a public person looking in, I haven't had an opportunity to look behind the curtain, right?
Right. You're not like the guy there. See who
so
pulls
it's all
the chain.
whatever public information it is, and it is true. The county covers all of the boundaries, and the town has their constituents, if you will, right,
Sure.
and helping them. But we're all a big part of a big community,
Right.
a lack of a better word, a family.
Sure.
We are, and everyone has the same common goals of doing the right thing and bringing in new business and helping the communities and putting resources out and police to help support our police officers. So we just need to kind of come together and remember what our common
See
goals
what our
are.
goals are.
That's right.
Because each part of the supervisors have a little sliver of the town, you know, that kind of goes into a pie there. So you do represent the town citizens as well as the county citizens as well. What do you think about the one of the hot topics at the previous election was the public comments at meetings? Now, of course, then COVID hits. When Mr. Mabe was the chairman, he really went overboard with allowing people to make comments at the meetings and let people. Sometimes it went on for an hour, you know.
Yes.
And then, of course, COVID hit, and the meetings kind of, you know, were curtailed except for Zoom, you know. Now we're back to public meetings again, and people are starting to come back. So, how do you fit in that as far as your? What do you feel about this transparency and letting the public speak?
Well, I believe in the transparency, and I believe everybody has the right to voice their opinion. I mean, how are the Board of Supervisors or any of our elected officials going to know what's going on in the community? I'm a big defender of the Constitution, First Amendment, freedom of speech, and that falls into that realm there. And I think it's good. I think it's healthy. I really do. Yeah, sometimes it lingers on, but everybody's voice needs to be heard, and I will respect that. I do respect that.
Yeah,
and
I think that's the one thing that people have, and I think in marriages and any kind of relationships, you know, people say, "Well, you didn't hear me, or you didn't
That's
listen
right.
to me." You know, and we hear them, but we don't listen. And there's a big difference between hearing and listening, I think.
Absolutely. And then sometimes the constituents actually bring very good points. Yes, and that's why it's important.
Well, they're directly involved,
Absolutely.
and we're just sitting back on the back, you know, on the fence, looking in sometimes.
Yes.
Well, that's their community as well. So,
That's correct.
what is you have some special? I don't want to call them special interests, but special things that you like are going to like hone in on in particular, things that that really pique your interest.
Well, one I don't know if you know this. I'm part of the Warren County Board of Supervisors Broadband Committee. I'm a part of that membership, and we're looking at bringing broadband to underserved and underprivileged homes.
And a lot of that's in your district.
Yes.
I mean, down around that direction, and then down in Bentonville and Browntown,
Yep.
which is kind of like forgotten land. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we move out into the country, and all of a sudden now the technology didn't show up.
Yeah, that's true. We're catching up. Yeah.
I know, right.
But so being part of that subcommittee as a member, I see that just what you were just saying, that we need to expand the IT. So one of my things that I would like to focus on is bettering our IT infrastructure and our footprint within the county, especially after what had happened with the intrusion of the board, of the county IT system. So I want to kind of take a little look at that and see what we can do to strengthen that infrastructure.
Yeah, it's not going to go away, is it?
No, it's not. It needs to expand. It needs more security and that kind of thing. So that's one of the things I want to horn in. And another thing too is the airport. The airport is in our district, and I was fortunate to be invited to a tour of the airport. It was given by the Airport Commission. And there's a lot of potential out there, and they're doing a lot of great stuff. So that's going to be another thing that I want to get more involved with and help bring revenue into the county as well.
It's kind of a hidden gem in our
It is.
There's a lot of hidden gems in the county that, unless it's right in your backyard, so to speak, you really don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. And it was a wonderful tour. They're doing wonderful things. RMA's in there with Silent Falcon, and then they got the gliders. It was a wonderful tour, and it was it opened my eyes to what potential there is out there.
One of the things, too, is that people don't realize is we have a lot of closed airspace between us and Washington D.C. and people have migrated their planes. Private aviation has migrated out this direction. So there's a lot of they built several hangars over the last
Yep.
decade, housing these planes. So that's a source of revenue, and also people that come here to fly these. I mean, that's bringing revenue. They go to restaurants, they stay in motels.
Absolutely.
They actually move out here sometimes. So
Absolutely.
what do you think about this the COVID situation and people moving and housing and that's going to affect our county? Have you given any thought about that?
Well, as far as the COVID right now that I'm focusing on is the mandates and the masks of our children. And I've gone to a couple school boards, and there's a lot of, not a lot, but a handful of parents that are speaking up and wanting to pull back those restrictions of the children. Taking it a step further with the COVID, I mean, I know we have the EO and there's those constraints on us, but I really want to focus on the common sense implementation of the COVID coming down. And as far as I know, and falls into the IT, right? Because folks, I think, now realize that they can start doing the virtual work, remote working, and that kind of thing, and we need to help those people as well.
It's great to be able to set it in the country, in the county, on your deck, and have your computer hooked up and talking to your customers and your business guys in D.C. and New York and places, and have to get one of them fake office backdrops so everybody thinks you're in the office.
That's right.
And they don't want to see that scenic view of the valley out there to do it. So
that's correct.
It's going to be an interesting thing. So we'll have to check on with you on your first 100 days. I guess that's kind of the honeymoon period.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to be a pleasant addition to the Board of Supervisors, and we'll see if someone else comes out of the woodwork. We got another. Actually, the cutoff is June the 8th, and that's tomorrow. So.
Yep.
People do have time to get their signatures in at the last minute, but
Yeah.
we can always do a write-in campaign. But I
Absolutely.
think
Well, even if I look at it, this is I'm running because of the people. I'm running for the community, and this is democracy. It's the American way. So if someone comes in, that's how
you're still going to work hard.
I'm still going to work hard. I'm still going to go out and meet people. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I've been going to a lot of community events,
Right.
just to be part of the community, meeting people, talking to the people, and it's not so much I'm running for the Board of Supervisors. I'm just more seeing how we are uniting, and I'm
Right.
there to listen to the people, and then for the Hope Festival's happening this weekend.
That's
so
right.
so I will be out there on Saturday.
June 12th and 13th.
June 12th. So I'll be out there.
That's
So-
the thing. Even though you're being elected in the Fork District, you are representing all the districts.
All the districts, yeah. It will be because we all vote.
That's right.
We all vote. So
Now, it'll be an interesting time between now and November because we do have Happy Creek will be candidate will be running, and that's Jay Butler.
that's correct.
And we'll be having a talk with Jay here soon, so you'll be stay tuned for that. And then we have someone running or two maybe running for the special election on the town council.
That's correct.
To fill that seat that Mayor Holloway vacated, and they appointed Jacob Meza in to fill that seat. So there's that's happening. So there's a lot
And also
going on.
the school board as well.
And school board now,
The school board.
because the Fork District and the Happy Creek District
That's
seats,
right.
The seats of the school board, by the way, follow the supervisors' election, so they correspond to the same seats. So I noticed that Catherine is not going to, Bauer's not going to rerun again.
No, she's
and
not.
The Fork District, is that going to open up?
I
don't know.
I don't
yet.
know, to tell you the
I don't
truth. But
We'll find out, won't we? But anyway, the school board seats, that's another election this year too. So
very
you know,
important.
it
Very,
is.
very, very important.
It's very important. It's surprising, we cover those meetings with our video camera, and I thought, well, who's interested in the school board? But there's a lot. Actually, more people watch a school board meeting than our board of supervisors.
There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, if you will, from
you
the
got
state
a
level.
big budget comes out of that school board, and it's something to keep an eye on.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you'll have your hands full, and I've talked to Mabe, and Cheryl both. It's not a part-time job.
No.
I mean, Vicky, you are retired, I assumed.
That's
You told
correct.
me that. You've used that retired word, but as busy as you are, you're going to put a lot of hours in.
Yep. And I'm ready for the challenge. I'm going to do it. It needs to be done. I've been going to all of the different meetings, board meetings, planning meetings, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop.
Opens your eyes, doesn't it, when you go
really?
to these meetings?
It opens your eyes, and then you see how everything is wired, and to be it, with, in my opinion, being a good board of supervisor, you need to know how things are wired, what the community is saying at the planning meeting, at the board meeting. It's all tied together, and that's how I plan to continue with the election and being a part of Fork District.
Well, Vicky, we will see more of you between now and November. We have our Meet the Candidates series on the Royal Examiner. So as we get a couple candidates in, and maybe you'll be the only one, we'll see. But even if you are, we're going to hold your feet to the fire and make sure that you work, get out there and get into the community and let people know what's going on, and let them know about you, because that's important to do that. And then keep you, we want to make sure that you do a good job for us
Absolutely.
on the board.
Absolutely.
So, well, we'll be calling, and so we want you to show up.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you will. She will. Remember, there is an election in November, so if you're not registered to vote in Warren County, please do so. If you live in the Fork District, I'm sure Vicky will appreciate your vote. And get on the phone and call her and check her out and make sure that she's going to be the representative that you want.
Oh, absolutely. And I have a website. You can go to my website, Vicky for Fork BOS, and I have a contact. So if you have any questions or anything that would you like me to check into, just go onto my website and let me know.
She'll be having some meet and greets here over the summer, and we'll show up to a couple of them so we can get some comments from some of your constituents. How's that?
Perfect.
Perfect. All right.
Perfect.
Again, Vicky, thanks so much for coming
thank
in. I
you, Mike.
appreciate it. And we will see more of you in the near future.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Take care.